Well, good morning, everyone. This is Bert coming to you from Vietnam, doing the Nailing FX sessions. Unfortunately, I am not able to do it live because for some reason we can't log into the YouTube channel. So this is the recording for today's session. Today is the 26th of August, and it's the last session that we're doing this month. And so let's take a look at next month's calendar. September, on the 2nd of September, every Wednesday, 10 a.m. here in Vietnam, I will be doing an FX Street session, and then the 9th will be a YouTube session, and then followed by several FX Street sessions. So here's the thing you need to do is go to www.tradewithufos.com/OPA and make sure that you register. That way you'll be notified of all the sessions and links so that you can get into the recordings as well as the live sessions easily. You can also be kept up to date with me on Forex Pipsville and on Facebook, Forex Pipsville on Facebook. And notice I have a very big cursor today. Someone mentioned that the small cursor was not very visible, so I decided to go ahead and go with that bigger cursor. All right, so let's take a look. The disclaimer: the following videos, clips, demonstrations are for educational and instructional purposes only. Tradicta provides these videos purely for the purpose of demonstrating a method of using the products. Users understand that all the content used in the video is purely for demonstration purposes only and is not a guide or any kind of direction to provide you with or a trade, and does not provide any indication of or prediction of actual results. As a user, you understand and agree that hypothetical results obtained through the demonstration do not indicate in any way the results you may receive by using the products. All right, so with the disclaimer out of the way, let's see what are we going to do today. Today we're going to review last week's trades. We put on two nice trades, one on the EURUSD and one on the GBPUSD. So we'll do some trade analysis. I'm going to show you, last week we showed you the MTF trading channel. Today I'm going to look at the let's see, the dual channel. It's a two channel trades, two charts. So then we'll do some correlation with TradingView, and I think we'll have some time to try to see if we can find a trade when we hunt for a trade. All right, so last week, the review from last week, we put on a EURUSD trade, and here's where we put that trade on. Okay, you can see the order down here, EURUSD, the price that we put it on, and notice the time here. I didn't do the screen capture immediately when I put the trade on last week. So later on Wednesday evening last week, I looked at it and grabbed the information, and by that time the trades were already in profit. You can see here they were moving nicely in our directions. But here's what I did here. This was a limit order. Initially this was a limit order, and I was looking for price to pull back here, pull back. You can see here is the sell order. Initially that was a limit sell, right? A limit sell right there. And then you can see price during this hour. This was sometime late in the 10 o'clock hour last week, last Wednesday. 1, 2, 3 hours later, so this would have been 11, 12, 1 o'clock in the afternoon Wednesday, price did penetrate and went in and converted that limit into a actual sell. So from there, price kind of meandered along and spiked up again a couple of times and went kind of flat, and so that wasn't much. All right, so about the same time, last Wednesday, or obviously during the trading session or during the session last Wednesday, I put on a trade, a market order, and immediately put my stop up above the alert arrows. Here you see the alert arrows, okay? And price did pull back, whoa, and almost took me out up here, but fortunately it did not. It did what I anticipated. Now, this was a relatively, both of these trades were pretty much counter trend type of trades, simply because this channel here, you can see this channel here and this channel here, was going up while the 4-hour channel that you see in the background here, the magenta color, okay, in here magenta color, was flat, and in this case was starting to roll down. So that told me that we were going to possibly see a trend change, okay, and that's why the 1-hour channel band, the upper band of the 1-hour channel, had penetrated in and actually through the 4-hour band, upper band. So that's why, even though this was kind of a counter trend since the 1-hour trend here based on the profile was still up, I was comfortable taking that trade to the downside. And the MACD was also confirming that although the MACD was positive, it was weakening and started to show the histogram below the signal line. So for those reasons, I felt comfortable to take that trade and get in it on the short side. All right, so then a little while later, you can see here, I moved the stop loss to a free trade, okay? Initially it was up here, and then I moved the stop loss down. You can see this dotted line right here. That was the stop loss in the free trade, okay? And actually what happened here is price came down significantly, and I believe, no, here's the take profit, down here's the take profit. And what you see here is price had moved a little better than halfway to my take profit level. So what I did was, when price had moved that much, I took the stop, the protective stop, and turned it into a protective profit. Okay, so think of it in that terms, taking the protective stop and converting it into a protective profit, and that took me into free trade. All right, so that happened there. Up here at the same time, in my euro, this was still meandering to the right, hadn't really moved much. So that was about 6 o'clock on Wednesday. All right, so the pound USD had already moved about halfway to the target. So the stop loss became a stop profit, right? Stop profit, stop and profit, okay? Now remember the word stop, funny, coincidentally, stop doesn't mean stop, it means activate. So whenever you hear the word stop, think of it in terms of activate. Translate stop to activate. Activate what? Activate a market order. That's what you're doing. You're activating a market order. When you get a stop hit, you are activating a market order. You're not stopping anything, you're activating. You're activating that market order, which takes you out of the position. Okay, so understand what the dynamics are. All right, so let's take a look then. Later on, you can see the Euro USD. Unfortunately, I didn't monitor the Euro USD as closely as I did the pound, simply because I had already moved a stop loss and I was watching the pound, and all of a sudden, wham, the Euro made a dive here, real dive, and well, the trade was closed. I was stopped at my target. I was activated. The market order was activated at my target. So that was nice. The euro hit my target and took me out of the trade. All right. So, but in the meantime, about the same time, I was monitoring and managing, and I probably shouldn't have focused so much on the pound, but so I then moved my stop profit. Okay, my stop profit, it initially was like 5 pips and I moved it to 10 pips, since this was already moving really deep, but it had shown some pullback here, so I didn't want to go too far down on it. All right, so there was the monitoring and managing. When I moved that stop, because I saw such strength in the dollar. Remember, if in the Euro USD price is going down, it means the dollar is strong. Okay, because the charts always show you what's happening with the base currency of the symbol, right? The base comes the first 3 letters. So because I saw that it was coming down fast, it already took me out here on the Euro USD. I not only moved to a free trade, okay, I also moved my target down to a new target, okay? So I was managing this in that way, right? So then later on, we can see I increased my profit stop loss, or my profit target. Well, actually, yeah, I went from that initial just free trade. Again, it moved so far down, so I put in a new stop loss, which would be a stop profit, right? Stop profit at this level right in here, all right? And price had zipped way down here. Okay, now when price makes such a strong move, I always anticipate that it's probably going to pull back maybe a third to half of the way. So I tried to put my stop loss a little bit higher, okay, so that I would have better gain on it. So that's what it looked like there. You can see close to 8 p.m. All right, so 6 p.m. I left, was doing some things, came back a little bit, a couple hours later, and started to look at this. And then what I did was, again, manage this. So my stop loss was down here. My stop profit actually was down here. I moved it a little bit. My profit target was still down in here, and I decided that what I was going to do now, since I obviously at after 8 o'clock, I wasn't going to keep coming back looking at the charts. I decided I was going to put on a 35 pip trailing stop, right? 35 pip trailing stop. And so that's, why 35 pips? Because originally my original target was 35 pips, somewhere in that area. So it made sense to put on that 35 pip stop. All right. So ultimately, the pound US went down and stopped me out. I took a profit. I ended up taking that profit down here at the 1.312425 level. Okay, you can see it came down here and continued to come down. But what happened was it did in fact reach my target before pulling back, and so I had both a target and a trailing stop in. I probably should have removed the target and just let it run with a trailing stop. That would have given me some better results. But all in all, those two trades were very nice. I got a 35 pip profit here. Now, the reason I'm calling it 35 pips rather than dollars, remember, I always focus on pips. Always focus on pips. So I know that on a mini, the pip move is worth approximately $1. So this was approximately a 35 pip move, and this one was an 80 pip move down in here. So it's a couple of very nice trades, worked out very well, and the reason was because I was focusing on the multiple time frame channels. Now, those were multiple time frame channels. Those were the H1 H4 channels. H1 H4 channels. And those channels, again, where you have the H1 channel inside the H4 channel, okay, showing on the same chart, okay. And what we're looking for is we're looking for the H1. What we looked for was for the H1 to go into the band, the high band or the low band of the H4, okay, with an alert. Okay, that's the alert here. And by the way, if you haven't gotten my information on alerts, go ahead and send an email to fxopabert@gmail.com, and I will send you the information that you will need in order to be able to set up the alert on the MT4 platform. All right, so that was the multiple time frame H1 H4 channel alert that we used to get into those trades. Now we have also a multiple time frame 2 chart channel. Now the nice thing about the 2 chart channel is that now you not only see when price is moving into the upper or lower channel bands on a chart simultaneously, but you also get to see what is happening in each of those time periods. And you're no longer going to be restricted to just H1, H4, okay? So here's the combination that you would use. You would use the Zebra Z multiple time frame channel alerts. Okay, that's the template, and you would use the M1 if you want to really do some scalping. Okay, and you have raw spreads. Remember, if you're going to scalp, you need to have really tight spreads. Okay, so I would have M1 on one chart, and I would have M5 on the other. And I would be looking at those two, and I'm going to be looking for alerts and also 1, 2, 3 reversals that give me a good indication that I want to take a trade, right? So these are two charts of the same pair, right? Same symbol, two different time frames. So what I do is I start, if I want to do some scalping, some quick scalping, I would go ahead and put a 1 and a 5 and look and see what's happening. And nothing's happening, nothing really going on. And then I would leave the 5 here and change this to 15. So now I'm looking at the 5 and the 15. Okay? And whatever's happening there, if I don't see that there might be a trade in that time frame, I leave the 15 on this chart and change this chart to an hour. So now I'm looking at the 15 an hour. And I continue to do that. I leave the hour and look at the 4 hour, and then leave the 4 hour and look at the daily. And if you wanted to, I guess you could go with daily to weekly, and that would be the end of it. Unless you want to be a really long-term investor, then you could go to weekly, monthly. But I don't usually take those positions. Okay, so that's the multiple time frame two chart channel. All right, two chart channel. And so here's what it looks like. All right, here's the H1 on this channel. Okay, and here's the H1 on TradingView. Okay, so you can see we have a match right here. This on the H1 here basically said go ahead and let's take a look here. Yeah, we have both the alert and a 1, 2, 3 reversal. Okay, so that is a 1, 2, 3 alert. I call it a 1, 2, 3 alert because we have both indicators signaling that there is a potential change in trend in a high band, okay, of the channel, right? And that also, you can see here, we had that indicator, the I forget the name, how we call that indicator, but that's the indicator there on the trading view, and you can see that it is right just below that band, or right below the sell zone, and coincidentally, the actual UFO is right on the hard number. You see that hard number? Remember, I always take a look, see what's happening at hard numbers, because those become significant. All right, so they match up, and you can notice that although these arrows are auto phase, the auto phase arrows, and you notice that auto phase arrow, and then it was followed by another auto phase arrow. Why? Because this auto phase arrow said, okay, according to the algorithm, price has the potential to go up, right? Now, how do I confirm that? Well, I have to have a close above the high of this period, right? The high of this period. Well, that didn't happen. Matter of fact, I just had a little, looks like kind of a spinning top here. And then I had another period where you notice that this low is lower than this low. And so the algorithm comes back and says, whoop, maybe we're going to turn around after something closes above the high of this period. That's the confirmation that we're looking for. Same things are happening over here. The only thing that's happening on this side is every time we get a better or a new, in this case, auto phase, in this case, just a pure alert. The old alerts don't necessarily hang around. We don't need to see all those sitting there. So down here, we can see that now what are we at? We're at on the trading view, we're in this channel here. It's not channel, I'm sorry, in this zone. Okay, and if I look at the UFO and I look to see where the UFO is, it's at the 775 level, 775, which again is pretty much a hard number. Okay, 775, 775 is a hard number. So price did respond back here. As you can see, it did here as well. So you can do the multiple time frame 2-chart channel and use both the MT4 chart with these channels on it, as well as using a trading view chart and seeing the UFOs. And so that gives you an additional layer of confirmation. As a matter of fact, you could, if you wanted to, actually create 3 charts, 2 MT4 and a third with the higher time frame trading view chart. So you have all these possibilities. All right, so now let's take a look, see how much time I've got here. We've got another half hour or so. So it looks like we have time to go and hunt for some charts. Okay, let's go ahead and close this. And I'm going to bring up here. Now I've got a basic chart here. All right, and this is just the price with a channel, and the indicators that are used here in this are the 0-0 indicator, which is the spread, the lower band and the upper band, channel bands, lower and upper channel bands. Okay, now I need to use this indicator. I'm working on developing this as one indicator. It might be available sometime in the future. I've got the alert that is put on here, but it's not showing. I don't know why. All right, I don't know why that is not showing on here, but we should have some alerts, and I have using the synchronous cursor. And what that is when I have 2 charts, which I'll show you in just a second, when I have 2 charts, it will synchronize. The crosshair will identify on both charts, not only in the time frame, but also on both charts in the price. Okay, so that's a really nice a nice synchronizing way to use a cursor. All right, so let's take a look here and see. First of all, let me go ahead and increase this chart. So I don't have all right. So here we see, I'm going to go back to the 1 minute as I was showing you earlier. All right, so here we can see that we have the alerts on the 1 minute. All right, so I'm just going to stick with that for right now. Okay, we could go to a 15-minute chart, and I need to get rid of this old one here. Let's see how that takes care of it. All right, All right, so now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to, let's get rid of this. First of all, my indicators, and I'm going to remove this so this becomes a Euro USD. Okay, Euro USD. You can see this has a lot of stuff on it already. Don't need all of this information initially when you first start. So let's go ahead and I'm going to take off some of, well, this has got, let's close this. Start from scratch. Go to template, and I want to go to basic template. All right, here we go. So this is the basic template. All right, so now from here, I'm going to go to another template, and it's the Z channel. Okay, and I'm going to take off this. Okay, and make this a 5-minute. And bring it down in size. All right, so you can see here, this is the 5-minute chart. Over here is the 1-minute chart. So I've got them. What happened? Well, this is what happens when I get too many charts going at the same time. All right, so let me go ahead and go through this again. Basic and template, Z channel, okay, and indicators, remove, delete that, close, and I want to put on the proper as I said, I made the alerts available now for use of you guys, so you can go ahead and, all right, send me that email and I will send you the information to get the alerts. So what are we looking at here? We're looking at an alert here on the 1-minute chart that basically says go short, but it's not anywhere near inside the upper band, right? Not near the upper band. But on the 5-minute chart, we've got an alert that says price is going to go up, right? So we've got some conflicting information here. The up alert has not been confirmed, right? We didn't get a high above the high of this alert period. And this 1-minute looks like something isn't going very well here, but that's okay. So I don't have anything here on the 1 and the 5 as far as a good conditions, any good conditions for taking a trade. All right, and notice again my cursor here is simultaneously moving in both charts. Okay, and it's not only in the time, but it's also moving as far as the price. All right, so nothing in the 1 to 5. So we leave the 5, and let's move the 1 and create the 1 now, go to 15. All right, so what do we have? In the 15, we have, again, another indication that price actually wants to go up, not confirmed, not in the channel. Okay, so nothing really happening for me here. Okay, so I'll leave the 15, and I will go to the next level, and that'll be 1 hour. Okay, 1 hour. Now, why did I skip the 30? Why did I skip the 30? Well, time frames, when you're trying to do multiple time frame analysis, you follow the 3x5 rule. The 3x5 rule is that you want to look at a chart or a time frame that is 3 to 5 times your original. If you're going up, if you're going down, you're going to divide. Up, you multiply, down, you divide. So I had a 15 minutes. If I multiply 15 minutes by 3, I get 45. Do I have a 45-minute chart? No. I multiply it by 4, I get 60. Well, do I have a 60-minute chart? Yes, that's a 1 hour. So that's why we go from 15 to 1 hour. All right, so in this area again, it indicates, we saw the 15 saying price looks like it wants to rise. The trend is pretty much to the upside, but it's not confirming anything really. So now I'm going to leave my 1 hour, and I'm going to go to the 4 hour over here. All right, and again down here, look, see how down here when the arrow showed in the 4 hour that we should be looking at a long trade, here. No, look at the cursors, the synchronized cursors here. Okay, here's the confirmation. We got to close above the high of the alert right there. Excuse me. There's the close above the high of the alert. Okay, in the 1 hour, we had we had both arrows basically coming in at the same time. Okay, all right. The 1 hour, in the second hour of the 4 hour period, right here, the second hour of the 4 hour period, we got an alert in the close here. Okay, close there above the high, and at that point we also had, see right here, we already had an alert on the 4 hour, and we had still not gotten the confirmation on the 4 hour, but we did have a confirmation over here on the 1 hour. And so those two combined now give me a pretty good indication that price is going to go up. Now, how far? How far can price go? That's the next question. Where should I target? Where should I target? So once I'm fairly confident that price is going to go in the direction that I'm anticipating, what I want to do is I want to figure out, how do I target? And what I do is I usually go to the lower time frame, which is the 1 hour, in this case 1 hour, 4 hour, and I will target, whoops, okay, need to cross here this, and I will target the opposite channel, the opposite channel. If I'm buying, I'm going to look at the sell band of the channel, and if I'm selling, I'm going to look at the buy band of the channel. So this looks like it should give me about 60 pips. Okay, so I can do that, go into the middle here, look about 50 pips would have been a nice trade in this here. So now let's go ahead. Now we have the 4-hour. Let's switch this one and go from the 4-hour and look at the daily. All right, so on the daily chart now, on the daily chart, this is telling me that I've got a reversal. It's very high, but this channel is very strong. The daily channel is very strong to the upside. So any trades that I would take here, okay, and so this was a daily, came in, and I look to the left, and I have my 4-hour. The 4-hour doesn't confirm anything. Let's see what happens. Here's the 4-hour telling me that I want to go short. Right? Here's the 4-hour telling me I want to go short. And again, looking at the synchronous channel, the 4-hour is basically confirming, the daily's confirming, and that got the daily alert was confirmed. You can see here was confirmed very quickly in the next day, by the close of the next day. So that would have been a confirmation to go ahead and take a short. Okay, everything looks good. Now, where do I take that short? Remember, I'm going counter trend. So again, I go back to the lower time frame and say, all right, if I'm going to get in somewhere up in here, all right, because I'm going counter trend on the higher time frame, I don't really think that going all the way down here for 100 and something, 180 pip move is reasonable. Okay, it's counter trend. So I would target into the band, the center band here, either the high of the center band, which is about 80 pips, middle of the center band is 100, and the lower band is 100, about 120. All right, so that would be my target when I see the higher time frame showing a lot of strength. Okay, and again, that would have happened. You could have gotten, normally, if you trade purely daily chart alerts, anytime you have an alert on a daily chart, it's very possible that price from the confirmation close will move 30 to 50 pips in the direction of the alert telling you. Now, if the alert is telling you to go counter trend, you would target 30 pips. If the alert is in the direction of the trend, you target the 50 pips. Those are kind of minimum targets. And remember, when you go halfway, about halfway, reach halfway to your target, go to a free trade, take off 15. So here we have nothing really happening. So what we'll do now is let's go. I'm not going to go all the way down. Let's take a look at the, put the 15-minute here and the 1 hour over here. And let's go to a different currency pair. Since it's morning right now over here in Asia, let's take a look at the Aussie USD. There, put that in there. All right, so now I'm looking at the 15-minute. The 15-minute just gave me an indication that price wants to go up. When I look at the 1 hour, I got a indication that price wants to go down. Here on the 15-minute, I've got an alert going down that's in the channel, and that alert showed up on the hourly as well, but not in the channel. I'm sorry, not in the upper band of the channel. Upper band of the channel. So, and again, you can see here, if I wanted to be really aggressive and say, well, I'm just going to go ahead and take that trade. Remember that we are looking at a rising channel, a trend that is up, so I would be targeting from here down into here. So that'll be about 13, 10, you can get 10 pips on a counter trend here, pretty much easily. But it's a risk because you're trading against there. All right, so let's take a look here, see if I can find this. All right, I'm going to have to turn off the auto scaling. So that I can move here. Okay, you see here we got this and we got this. And so this was telling me trade with the trend. The trend had turned up here. You can trade with the trend. And there was the, actually right there's the confirmation on the lower time frame. And when I look over to the higher time frame, I see that that also exists on the higher time frame. So on the lower time frame, trading with the trend, okay, I would then look at targeting, whoops, targeting up here, which is about a 25 pip target, and you can see on the hourly that was reached. Okay, that was reached in a couple of hours. So this is using those together. Let's see, we have this is saying up, this one's saying down, not really helping us. So let's leave the hourly and change this to a 4 hour. See if we can find trend here. This is saying down. This was saying up. Let's take a look here on the 4 hour. Where did that exist? Okay, so I'm going to have to turn off the, move this over. All right, how about this right here? Okay, you see this hourly way up outside the band here. Okay, way up here. And that's the 1 hour. And what does it do in the 4 hour? It shows up. And so the 1 hour got confirmed right here. They're both indicating down. The 4 hour channel has a slight up move to it. The 1 hour channel still hasn't rolled over completely, but that level here, now on the 1 hour, I can go ahead and target down here for 65 pip move. Okay. And my stop would be up here for about a 25 pip stop. So that's a better than 2 to 1. We're looking at some history, obviously, but you can see that it becomes kind of easy when you know how to read the alerts, how they get confirmed, right? How the alerts are confirmed, and see the channel, okay? See the channels. and be able to put the channels on. Now, I don't have the channels ready for distribution on the MT4 yet. They will be at some point, but that's not a problem. Why don't we look at what can happen here? And I'm going to go ahead and see if I can. All right, so alright, so I'm just looking at the 4-hour here. Alright, 4-hour chart of the Aussie USD. So here's that. Now I'm going to minimize this for right now, and I'm going to go to Trading View. Oh, don't tell me I have to sign in again. Oh, I'm sorry. I lost the sign up. I don't know that off the top of my head. Um, let's see if I can go back here. Username. Oh, what is it? All right, so unfortunately, I have to apologize. I'm not able to get into my trading view account. I don't remember the username and password on this computer, so it's a little bit annoying. But what I was hoping to see here would be look at the 4-hour and look at the daily on TradingView and look at the auto phase, match up the auto phase with the alerts, and have the UFOs. Okay, I'm trying to figure out how to show these unique channels on TradingView, but again, that requires programming, and I'm not a programmer. So hopefully we'll get something for that. But in any case, that's what we're looking at here. Let's take a look, since we don't have any. This was saying come down. This one is already in the center. I'm not interested in this. So let's go ahead and look at something else, see if we can find. Let's look at the US yen. See, sometimes that's very interesting. And we'll just leave it here. All right, so here we go. We just had a confirmed down here. We had a confirmed on the 1 hour, but it's confirmed well below here and way up. In the 4 hour, we got this and no confirmation. So there's nothing happening here. So let's leave the 4 hour and go here to the daily. All right, you can see here on the daily there's nothing happening. Here on the daily we had this, and that would be showing way back. Yeah, see if I can find this one. Okay, this one, the channel was definitely coming down. We're in the middle. We're in the middle of the daily, and we get a down, which gets confirmed rather quickly here. Okay, right here we get confirmation. All right, so, and we had that confirmation here on the 4 hour. So that would be a possible trade that might have been able to take down here and pick up 120 pips. And let's see, on the daily, did we get the confirmation from here down to here? That would have been 89 pips. If you took that earlier confirmation up here again, whoops. All right, so nothing here in terms of looking at daily 4 hour. Going backwards, we're going to go 4 hour, 1 hour. Let's go ahead. Okay, there's what we saw here. Price is rising. We're getting shorting information. That's not going to help us. So we got to go to the 1 hour 15 on this side. And nothing is here. Nothing is really telling me. So we don't have anything that I can do on this particular currency pair. Let's look at one more currency pair, see if I can. And then unfortunately, this is only a recording, so I can't talk to you. There's no live chat available for us to look at. Let's take a look at the, let's take a look at a cross pair. How about that? Let's take a look at a cross pair. Let's look at the pound yen. See if there is something in the pound yen that can be. All right, so what we have here is in the pound yen hourly, we've got a confirmed downside, but the trend is up, very strong. You can see the channel is everything is pointing up. On the 15-minute, it's up, and it's showing that price is going to continue to go up here. So there's nothing here on the 15-1. Let's look at the hourly 4 and go to the end of that. Just slightly. So the hourly 4 is not confirmed. The alert is not confirmed to the downside. And We're still seeing price has the potential to go higher. Well, there's not much trading that we can look at. Let's take a look at the 4-hour daily. Do we have anything that can help us here? On the daily, we did get a confirmed here on the daily, and whoops, that daily came in confirmed there, and it went down 70, about 70 pips. So again, you can see that when we get an alert on a daily chart, even if we're not using the channel, but the channels help us because on the daily chart we see that this is up. This is up. So I wouldn't be targeting, for 50. I'd be targeting for 30, and then, going to a free trade and seeing if I could squeeze some more out. But anytime you get an alert, and this is called the Z48 alert. When you get the Z48 alert on a daily chart, it's usually good once confirmed for 30 to 50 pips. 30 pips on a counter and 50 or better on a trade with the trend. So that's about all that time I have. Sorry we didn't get to look at the trading view. Technical problems with the live channel. So this be a recording. Again, send email. Sign up at TradingView. To be able to use the TradingView charts and basically sign in at trade with UFOs /OPA, trade with UFOs /OPA. Put in your name and your email address and you'll be updated. It's a free sign up. You'll get a lot of good information. So until we get together next week on FX Street, have a great week, good trading, and I'll talk to you then.